Hi Aries, welcome to your August 2021 Astro Update. It's Raina here. So I'm recording this in a park because it's just too beautiful to sit inside all day. And so this is a month where there's going to be a lot of energy in your fifth house with Leo really being front and center as the month begins, and that's really fun. That's what the fifth house is all about. It's about pleasure. So specifically, it involves hobbies, pastimes like entertainment, things that you find enjoyable that you're doing in your off hours. It's the house of creativity, the house of love, the house of children. So it's ruled by the sun, and if you think about the sun card in the tarot, you can get a bit of a feel for just how positive this is. And so the sun is already in this house as the month begins. And there was something else. Yes, and also Mercury's in this house. And that's good for any kind of creative pursuits that are of a literary nature. So a big one would be writing plays or other kinds of, I'm sure that creative writing in general would be in this house. But also, if you are an actor, if you are in the theater, this could be you communicating in a creative way. And this could be you talking to somebody that you have feelings for, that you are either infatuated with, in lust. The fifth house can be lust, if not love. Love too, but lust too. Recreational sex, but it might still be in that communication phase where you're kind of flirting with one another, talking, that kind of thing. And on the 8th, there's a new moon in this area at 16 degrees of Leo. And so there might be some kind of new developments with love matters, creative matters. This is also the business that you own, so it could be something of that nature. And that this is a great time to launch businesses because there is a green light until September 7th when all the personal plants are direct. On the 11th, Mercury goes into Virgo, and Virgo is your 6th house. Also, Mars is in this house. And actually, now that I think about it, Venus is here as well. So your 6th house is well represented too. Now, this is more business and pleasure. This is the house of your, the service that you provide to others. It can be the workplace. It can be employment in general. Employment matters. Mercury here, you might be talking to someone, filling out applications, negotiating salaries. Who knows what you're doing? But something along those lines. 6th house is health. So if you're researching, maybe you're reading books, trying to gain more information, because this is that time from in August and September when this area is really featured for you. Your health comes into focus every year with these personal planets going here. On the 16th, Venus goes into Libra. So now we're talking about this house that Venus rules, the 7th house, and this can be great for relationship matters, where you can be more harmonious. This will be with anybody who has a partner right now. And it's just romantic, harmonious. This is also the house of public relations. So if you are launching something and you need to make yourself look good, you can do that. I mean, you're going to come across in a very favorable way. And this is a good time, too, if you're going to get married. This is some kind of a commitment ceremony if you don't believe in legal marriage. some other type of commitment ceremony, because Venus is the goddess of love and beauty, and so it's great for not only being able to harmonize with your partner, but also to experience that kind of pleasant, to have these kinds of events that are very pleasant, that can be experienced by other people. And if you're like planning a wedding, for instance, there's aesthetics involved where you're trying to have pick out the right tablecloth and all kinds of different things. Okay, on the 19th, Uranus goes retrograde at 14 degrees of Taurus. So this is in your second house of earned income. This is very interesting, Aries, because first of all, Uranus in transiting a particular house can indicate the type of how you are earning money currently. So when Uranus is in the second house, it could be something that's connected with astrology, other types of intuitive arts and things like that. And so you might be involved with that at this time. Chiron has been in your first house for a while now, and Chiron, the wounded healer, is an energy that's associated with healing others. So in your first house of the self, that can really make you, first of all, more vulnerable, which an Aries person, that can be great balance because you tend to be quite cocky, don't you? So having a little bit of sensitivity, even if it's towards yourself, that's a start, right? And then out to others. I know you know what, I can, as a Sagittarian, I can joke with Aries because I think that a lot of you can take it, but some of you might be a little bit touchy right now because of this transit. So it really does work well with careers in the healing arts. And so this can be, so Uranus here is now internalizing. So when it's external, it's going to manifest more in a mundane sort of way in your day-to-day life. And it can show up as something connected to, pursuing money in a way that is, one thing it can do is that it's less about the self, which is, the house that you rule, the first house, and more about the collective. So actually, Aries is a very generous sign. So it's not to say, oh, you're selfish and all that. But you may be thinking about the money that you earn in terms of what it can do for you primarily, and that may change. So there might be this, I don't know how that would manifest for you. If it's more like doing something that has a purpose, a humanitarian purpose. That could be it too. Like instead of doing the work that you're doing something like a non-for-profit or something like that. And now it's internalizing. So, another thing too about this is the idea of freedom with money. That with the Uranus transit, it can be about freedom, because Aries people tend to be big spenders, and maybe you will question, like, why am I doing this? Especially when Uranus goes retrograde. Even though Uranus is not a personal planet, it is in a particular house, and then it becomes more personal to you. So this idea, because the second house can be self-esteem as well. And so, sometimes people spend money in order to impress other people. So this can be like you questioning that because maybe you're possessed by your possessions. You feel like, You don't have the ability to do what you want to do because you have there's something called time poverty where they might make a lot of money but they have very little time for free time, and that is something I was going to say that's quite foolish, but that's editorializing, isn't it? It's just that it doesn't make any sense to be working long hours if you can't enjoy the fruits of your labor. So anyway, those kinds of things may come up for you as you try to earn money with the idea of more freedom. I believe that Uranus is turning direct in early December, so there will be plenty of time to think about these things. On the 22nd, there is a full moon at 29 degrees of Aquarius. We already have one. As I record this, are having one. I want to pretend that it's already been here and done that, but it's not true. So these are bookend full moons, and one is at 1 degree, the other is at 29 degrees. So it's like an initiation and an ending or a culmination. And it's in this 11th house. Now, Uranus is the ruler of the 11th, so it could have some connection with that, where there's something that the 11th house can be your hopes and wishes, though. So this can be a long-range goal that you are finalizing, or is coming to harvest in some way. This is also the house of friendships and groups. You may have realized in July that you need to kind of distance yourself or end certain personal relationships because they're holding you back, and then this is going to be the final goodbye. And sometimes this can be if somebody is leaving the country, they're really like saying goodbye. And you did have a lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, which would have been the 9th house back in late May, so that might be the result of that. And you're actually going to have a solar eclipse in this house of long distance travel, in the 9th house, in Sagittarius in December. So some of you are definitely saying goodbye. It might not be because you don't resonate with people, but simply because you're going to be far, far away in the not so distant future. But some goal could come to fruition for you. And on the same day, the sun goes into Virgo, into that 6th house. So that could be connected, that could be like getting down to brass tacks types of deal. On the 30th, Mercury goes into Libra. So Mercury goes into that 7th house. Maybe you're making those wedding plans, making that, sending out invitations. If you have any kind of legal matter, and it could even be, the funny thing is, it could be like a divorce too, because the 7th house is marriage, but it's also legal matters, and that divorce would fit into that. So everybody's, on their individual journey, and this is not going to be uniform for everybody, these kinds of transits. So, but it will be a general theme that will, unite everybody. So, in any case, I hope that you enjoyed this and resonated with it. Aries, if you would like a private reading, the link is below. Have a great month. Take care. Bye.